The stars stretched out like a black canvas dotted with tiny pinpricks of light. Among those pinpricks moved a massive ship, so large it could swallow entire cities whole. The Coral Stellar Collective's flagship, named Eternal Conquest cut through space with a silent promise of destruction. Commander Raken stood on the ship's main bridge, his scaled hands gripping the command console. His 4 eyes, 2 on top, 2 on the bottom of his head, scanned multiple screens at once. Each screen showed different views of the blue planet that grew larger with each passing moment. Earth. The planet looked peaceful from a distance. Swirling clouds covered parts of its surface, creating beautiful patterns of white and blue. But Raken wasn't here to admire the view. He was here to conquer. Tactical report. He barked to his second-in-command, Lieutenant Vorel. Vorel's fingers danced across a holographic display. Numbers and charts flickered to life, showing detailed scans of the planet below. "Commander," he said, his voice a low hiss, "our initial assessment remains unchanged. The planet is ripe for total conquest." The ship's massive computer systems had been analyzing Earth for decades. Years of careful observation had painted a picture of a seemingly weak civilization. Primitive technology, divided populations, minimal planetary defense systems. The Coral Stellar Collective had conquered hundreds of worlds, and this one looked like it would be the easiest yet. "Confirm population centers," Raken commanded. Another screen lit up. Little dots represented human settlements, most of them clustered in certain areas, with large empty spaces between. The data showed a species spread thin, with most of their population concentrated in small regions. Their technology seemed basic. Their planetary defenses looked laughable. Vorel pulled up more details. Multiple population centers detected, large gatherings in what they call cities. Interesting timing. Their data suggests most are currently engaged in a cultural event called Christmas. Raken's upper eyes narrowed while his lower eyes studied the detailed reports. Christmas. A strange word. Their research suggested it was some kind of annual celebration involving family gatherings, gift exchanges, and various cultural rituals. To the Coral Collective, it seemed like the perfect moment to strike. "Prepare invasion protocols," Raken said. "We'll target their major cities. Their celebration will become their funeral." The bridge of the Eternal Conquest hummed with energy. Thousands of crew members moved with practiced efficiency. Some were checking weapon systems. Others were reviewing final invasion plans. Every screen showed Earth getting closer and closer. No one on the ship, not Raken, not Vorel, not a single crew member, understood what was about to happen. They didn't know about human creativity. They didn't understand human spirit. They had no idea that interrupting a human holiday was about to become the biggest mistake in their species' history. The ship's navigation systems blinked. Coordinates locked. Invasion routes mapped. Everything was perfect. Too perfect. 60 standard minutes to planetary entry, announced a computerized voice. Raken allowed himself a small smile. His 4 eyes gleamed with the promise of victory. The Coral Stellar Collective had never failed in a planetary conquest. Hundreds of worlds had fallen before them. Earth would be no different. Little did he know, Earth was very, very different. In homes across the planet, humans were preparing for Christmas. They were hanging decorations, cooking meals, wrapping presents, singing songs, laughing with family. And some of them, just some, were about to show the universe exactly what humans could do when someone interrupted their holiday. The Eternal Conquest moved closer to Earth, silent, deadly, completely unaware of the storm that was about to break. The Miller family home sat on a quiet street in suburban Denver. Christmas lights twinkled from the roof and windows. Inside, warmth and laughter filled every room. The smell of roasted turkey mixed with the sweet scent of fresh-baked cookies. This was Christmas Eve, a time for family, joy, and celebration. Lieutenant Jihun Miller stood in the living room, wearing a bright red Christmas sweater with a ridiculous pattern of dancing reindeer. The sweater was a gift from his younger sister last year, and he wore it every Christmas, mostly to make her laugh. His military communicator was clipped to his belt, but he wasn't thinking about work right now. "Another piece of pie, Ji-hoon?" asked his grandmother Elena, holding out a plate with a freshly cut slice of pecan pie. Ji-hoon grinned. "Always, halmoni," he said, using the Korean word for grandmother. Elena had been born in Seoul but moved to the United States decades ago. She was the heart of the Miller family. Tough, smart, and always prepared for anything. His cousin Daewon was in the middle of a story about his work at a tech company. Ji-hoon half listened, enjoying the warm family atmosphere. Cousins, aunts, uncles, and siblings were packed into the living room. Some sat on the couch. Others crowded around the dining table. A massive Christmas tree stood in the corner, covered in ornaments that told stories of years past. Suddenly, the military communicator on Ji-hoon's belt chirped. Most people would ignore a work call on Christmas Eve. But Ji-hoon was different. He was a fourth-generation soldier. His family had a long history of military service. When the communicator chirped, he knew it might be important. "Miller here," he said, stepping away from the family gathering. The voice on the other end was urgent. "Lieutenant, we have an unusual situation. Multiple large unidentified objects entering Earth's atmosphere. Possible alien spacecraft." Ji-hoon's military training kicked in immediately. His relaxed Christmas mood shifted to alert mode in seconds. But he didn't panic. He didn't show worry. To his family, he simply looked like he was listening to a normal work call. "Understood," he said calmly. "Send me the full report." His grandmother, Elena, looked over. She had survived war in Korea. She had raised a family in a new country. She had seen tough times. "Everything okay, sweetie?" she asked. Ji-hoon smiled. "Just work stuff, halmoni. Now, where's that pecan pie?" But behind his calm smile, his mind was racing. Alien spacecraft. On Christmas Eve. This was going to be complicated. In military bases around the world, similar conversations were happening. Soldiers who were supposed to be on holiday were being called back to duty. Family gatherings were interrupted. Christmas dinners were left half-eaten. But this wasn't a normal military call-up. This was something entirely different. Back in the Miller family home, Ji-hoon's uncle was cleaning some hunting rifles, a tradition from his days in the military. His cousin was updating some computer systems. His aunt was preparing emergency food supplies. To an outsider, it might have looked like a normal family Christmas preparation. But they were preparing for something much bigger than a family holiday. Outside, the first alien ships began to appear in the sky. Most people would think they were strange Christmas decorations or unusual clouds. But those who were watching knew better. The invasion was beginning. And the aliens had no idea what they were about to face. Ji-hoon looked around his family room. His relatives, his grandmother, his cousins, each of them was special. Each of them was capable. Each of them was about to show the universe what humans could do. The communicator chirped again. More information was coming in. The invasion of Earth had begun. But this was no ordinary invasion. This was an invasion happening on Christmas Eve, the one day aliens should never have chosen to attack. The first reports came in like whispers, then they became a roar. In Colorado, the Miller family wasn't the only one preparing. At a National Guard base near Denver, soldiers interrupted their Christmas dinner. They weren't upset about missing dessert. They were excited. Something big was happening. Sergeant Mark Rodriguez was cutting his turkey when the alarm sounded. His wife, sitting next to him, didn't even look surprised. She started packing his emergency bag while he put on his uniform. Their children watched with a mix of pride and concern. "Those aliens picked the wrong day to show up," Mark muttered, adjusting his belt. Thousands of miles away, in Tokyo, something similar was happening. Off-duty military personnel left their family gatherings. But this wasn't a sad moment. It was a moment of unity. Wives helped husbands gear up. Parents kissed their children goodbye. Everyone knew what was at stake. In Moscow, special forces teams moved with lightning speed. Christmas trees were left half-decorated. Festive meals were abandoned. But no one complained. This was more important than any holiday. What made this response special wasn't just the military. It was everyone else. Hackers around the world started connecting. Not through official channels, through Christmas party chats, through family group messages, through online gaming platforms. They shared information faster than any government system could. In a small apartment in Mumbai, a group of computer engineers were having a Christmas party. Instead of just drinking and eating, they started mapping alien ship movements. Their Christmas lunch became a global defense operation. A teenager in Sao Paulo discovered a way to mess with the alien communication signals. She shared her findings in an online gaming chat. Within minutes, thousands of young tech experts were working on the problem. Grandmothers called their grandchildren who worked in tech. Aunts reached out to nephews in computer security. Families became communication networks. Every phone call, every message became a potential weapon. Old military veterans started showing up at bases. They weren't asked to come. They just arrived. Some brought their hunting rifles. Some brought communication equipment they had kept from their service years. No one told them to come. They just knew they were needed. Farmers in the American Midwest started preparing their vehicles. Tractors could become mobile platforms. Trucks could transport equipment. They knew how to move heavy things. They knew how to work together. In Australia, volunteer firefighters, used to fighting massive bushfires, began organizing. If they could fight massive fires, they could help fight an alien invasion. The response wasn't just from official sources. It came from everywhere. From everyone. Retired engineers started designing defense systems. Truck drivers planned transport routes. Chefs prepared emergency food supplies. Hunters cleaned their rifles. Programmers wrote defense codes. Christmas became something else. It became a global preparation day. The aliens had no idea what was coming. In command centers around the world, military leaders looked at the incoming data. They had never seen anything like this. The entire planet was moving. Not in panic, but in perfect, coordinated action. Jehun Miller's family was just one example, but they represented something larger, the global family, ready to protect their home. The invasion was coming, but humanity was ready. And the aliens were about to learn a very important lesson. You never interrupt a human holiday, especially not Christmas. The first alien ships appeared like dark shadows against the morning sky. They were massive, each one bigger than the largest human buildings. Commander Rakin believed this would be easy. He was wrong. In Denver, Lieutenant Jehun Miller watched the screens in the command center. His ugly Christmas sweater was still on. He hadn't even changed. Some of his fellow soldiers looked at him weird, but Jehun didn't care. The sweater was his good luck charm. The alien ships began their attack run. They targeted major cities, military bases, important infrastructure, classic invasion strategy. But nothing was classic about what happened next. Commercial drones, the kind people used to take photos and make videos, suddenly became weapons. Thousands of them filled the sky. They weren't designed as weapons, but humans are good at making things work in unexpected ways. In New York, a group of college students who were stuck at home for Christmas started hacking. They found ways to connect the drones, to give them instructions, to make them work together. The drones attacked alien sensor systems. They didn't have big weapons, but they were everywhere. Like angry digital bees, they swarmed around the alien ships. Satellite networks came alive. Not just military satellites, every satellite. Communication satellites, weather satellites, GPS satellites. They became jamming systems that confused alien technology. In Silicon Valley, tech workers who were supposed to be on holiday were now the most important people on the planet. They sat in living rooms, wore Christmas pajamas, worked on laptops, drinking coffee, saving the world. The internet became a weapon. Every connected device became part of the defense system. Smart fridges, home security systems, gaming computers, they all started working together, sharing information, blocking alien signals. Commander Rakin couldn't believe what he was seeing. His advanced alien technology was being beaten by human devices, devices that weren't even meant to be weapons. In Moscow, an old computer programmer named Boris watched the invasion from his small apartment. His grandchildren had taught him how to hack. Now, he was using those skills to mess with alien computer systems. Farmers in Iowa used their GPS-connected tractors to create bizarre signal patterns that confused alien tracking systems. They thought it was almost funny. The aliens had studied Earth for years. They thought they knew everything about humans. They were wrong. In Tokyo, a group of gamers turned their massive multiplayer online game into a coordination platform. They used game communication channels to share alien movement information. Their game became a global defense network. Jihoon Miller's grandmother, Elena, made cookies in the command center kitchen. She brought them to the soldiers. "Eat," she said. "You need energy to fight." The first alien assault teams tried to land. They expected weak resistance. Instead, they found something else. Creativity, teamwork, determination. Ordinary things became extraordinary weapons. Christmas lights became signal jammers. Holiday sound systems became electronic warfare platforms. Smartphones became communication centers. The aliens had a simple plan: attack, conquer, move to the next planet. Humans had a different plan: survive, fight back, make the aliens regret ever coming to Earth. Commander Rakin watched in horror as his invasion plan fell apart. His sophisticated weapons were being defeated by things that weren't even designed as weapons. Humans were fighting back, and they were enjoying it. Christmas Day was going to be interesting. The invasion had begun, but this was not going the way the aliens expected. The aliens would later describe it in their history books as the Christmas Massacre. But for humans, it was just another holiday gathering turned into a defense operation. Jihoon Miller's family living room had become a strange mix of Christmas celebration and military command center. His grandmother Elena was making kimchi in the kitchen. His uncle was cleaning hunting rifles near the Christmas tree. His cousins were writing computer codes between opening presents. The military communications center was full of people wearing Christmas sweaters. Some had Santa hats. Others wore reindeer antlers. But everyone was serious about defending the planet. In the Miller family home, technology and tradition mixed in strange ways. A smart speaker played Christmas music while also tracking alien ship movements. The big screen TV switched between holiday movies and military tracking systems. Festive decorations hung next to communication equipment. Jihoon's cousin Daewon was particularly impressive. He worked for a tech company, and now his skills were saving the planet. He sat on the floor, surrounded by wrapping paper, his laptop open. Lines of code flew across the screen. He was helping to create a global defense network. "More cookies?" Elena asked, bringing a plate of homemade treats to the makeshift command center. Nobody stopped working, but everybody took a cookie. Around the world, similar scenes were happening. Families were turning their Christmas gatherings into defense operations. In Tokyo, a family used their karaoke machine to jam alien communication signals. In Moscow, grandparents helped track alien movements using their tablet computers. The aliens had no idea what was happening. They thought humans were weak, divided, easy to defeat. They were wrong. Jihoon's military communicator kept buzzing. But he wasn't worried. His family was with him. They were ready for anything. Another wave of ships approaching, someone announced in the command center. But this wasn't a moment of fear. It was a moment of excitement. Outside, Christmas lights still twinkled. Some people had decorated their houses with extra bright lights. These lights were now doing more than just looking pretty. They were confusing alien sensor systems. In Colorado, farmers used their Christmas tractors to move military equipment. Hunting rifles that were Christmas gifts became important weapons. Amateur radio operators, who usually just talked for fun during holidays, were now a critical communication network. The Miller family wasn't unique. They represented something bigger, a global family, ready to protect their home. Ji-hoon looked at his grandmother. She had survived a war in Korea. She had built a life in a new country. She wasn't scared. She was making more kimchi and watching the alien invasion like it was an interesting TV show. They picked the wrong holiday to attack, she said, cutting vegetables with military precision. Nobody disagreed. Across the planet, people were using everything they had. Gamers used their skills to track alien movements. Truck drivers planned transport routes. Chefs prepared emergency food. Programmers wrote defense codes. The invasion wasn't just a military operation. It was a global family project. Aliens had studied human technology, but they didn't understand human spirit. They didn't know about Christmas. They didn't know about family. They didn't know about human creativity. And they were about to learn a very important lesson. Never interrupt a human holiday, especially not Christmas. The first wave of alien ships was about to meet something they never expected. A planet, united, prepared, and ready to fight. Commander Rakin stared at the screens in total disbelief. Nothing made sense anymore. The Coral Stellar Collective had conquered hundreds of worlds. They had destroyed civilizations that were far more advanced than humans. But this was different. This was impossible. Their most advanced weapon systems were failing. Not because of superior human technology, but because of human creativity. One screen showed a group of humans using Christmas light strings to create electronic interference. Another screen showed farmers using tractors to block alien landing zones. A third screen displayed children in online game chats sharing alien movement information faster than any military communication system. Lieutenant Forel, Rakin's second-in-command, looked scared. "Commander," he said, "they are not fighting like any species we have ever seen." The humans weren't just defending. They were enjoying this. In the Eternal Conquest mothership, confusion reigned. Their super-advanced computer systems were being attacked by devices that weren't even designed as weapons. Smart refrigerators, gaming computers, home security systems. They were all working together. A massive drone swarm covered an entire alien landing group. These weren't military drones. These were the same drones people used to take family photos and make vacation videos. Now they were a weapon. The alien technology was supposed to be perfect, unbeatable. But human technology worked differently. Humans didn't follow rules. They broke rules. They made new rules. One alien tactical report showed how a group of high school students had hacked into alien communication systems using a multiplayer online game. Another report showed farmers using GPS-connected tractors to create signal patterns that confused alien tracking systems. Commander Rakin remembered the reports about human history, wars, conflicts, survival against impossible odds. But seeing it was different. Humans used everything as a weapon. A Christmas tree became a communication point. Holiday sound systems became electronic warfare platforms. Smartphone networks became defense coordination centers. The aliens had studied Earth for decades. They thought they knew everything about humans. They were wrong. In the Miller family home, Ji-hoon's grandmother Elena was still making kimchi. She wasn't worried. She had survived a war in Korea. This was just another challenge. "More coffee?" she asked the soldiers in the command center. Nobody said no. Around the world, families were doing the same thing. Helping, fighting, working together. The alien invasion was falling apart. Not because of big weapons, not because of advanced technology, but because of something the aliens could never understand. Human spirit, family, teamwork. Commander Rakin watched as another alien attack group failed, completely failed, defeated by devices that weren't even designed as weapons. "How?" he asked. Nobody had an answer. Humans weren't just fighting. They were having fun doing it. Every failure made humans more excited, more determined, more creative. The invasion was becoming a global party, a celebration of human ability. And the aliens were losing. Badly. Commander Rakin understood one thing now. They had made a terrible mistake. They had attacked humans. On Christmas. The worst possible day. The final blow came from something the aliens never expected. Jihoon Miller sat in the family living room. Christmas decorations were everywhere. Presents were still under the tree. His family moved around him like a well-trained team. Each person had a job. Each person was important. His cousin Daewon worked on a massive computer system. His uncle checked communication equipment. His grandmother Elena made food to keep everyone strong. This wasn't just a family. This was a battle station. Ready? Jihoon asked. Daewon grinned. Totally ready. The global cyber attack had been planned during Christmas parties, discussed in family group chats, developed in online gaming rooms, shared through holiday video calls. What looked like casual conversations were actually battle planning sessions. Millions of computers around the world began to move, not just military computers, every computer. Smart TVs started sending signals. Home security systems became communication points. Gaming computers became processing units. Smartphones turned into a massive connected network. The aliens had no idea what was coming. In the Miller family home, Jihoon pressed a single button. Around the world, millions did the same thing at the exact same moment. The alien fleet's central command systems began to fail. First, small systems went down. Communication links disappeared. Navigation became impossible. Weapon systems started to shut off. Then bigger systems failed. Entire alien ships lost power. Their most advanced technology became useless. Millions of lines of complicated alien code were replaced by simple human creativity. It wasn't just one attack. It was 1,000 attacks. From everywhere. At the same time. Commander Rakin watched in horror as his entire invasion fleet began to fall apart. Their most advanced technology was being defeated by devices that weren't even designed as weapons. Computers in homes, smartphones in pockets, gaming systems in kids' rooms. They were all working together. The attack came from everywhere. A teenager in Brazil, a grandmother in Moscow, a farmer in Iowa, a student in Tokyo. They were all part of the same team. Humans weren't just defending. They were fighting back. How? Commander Rakin screamed at his computer screens. But nobody had an answer. The invasion was falling apart faster than it had begun. Jihoon's family watched the screens. They weren't scared. They were excited. More cookies? Elena asked, bringing another plate. Nobody said no. Around the world, families were doing the same thing. Watching. Fighting. Working together. The alien invasion was becoming a joke. Not because of big weapons. Not because of advanced technology. But because of something the aliens could never understand. Human spirit. Human creativity. Human teamwork. The Miller family represented something bigger than just one family. They were part of a global team. Ready to protect their home. Commander Rakin realized one thing. They had made a terrible mistake. They had attacked humans. On Christmas. The worst possible day. The invasion was over. Humans had won. And they had done it while wearing Christmas sweaters. The Coral Stellar Collective didn't just retreat. They ran away in total terror. Commander Rakin sat in his command chair. His 4 eyes were wide with shock. Everything had gone wrong. Completely wrong. Their invasion plan was perfect. On paper. But humans were not a paper problem. Retreat. Rakin screamed. But it was too late. His entire invasion fleet was falling apart. Alien ships began to move away from Earth. But it wasn't a clean retreat. It was a messy, panicked escape. Some ships crashed into each other. Others simply stopped working. Their advanced technology was useless against human creativity. Lieutenant Vorel tried to organize the retreat, but nothing made sense anymore. How? He kept asking. How did this happen? The human defense had been nothing like any invasion the Coral Collective had ever seen. Humans used everything as a weapon. Smart fridges, Christmas lights, video game systems, tractors. Nothing was just one thing. In the Miller family home, Ji-hoon and his family watched the alien ships retreat. More hot chocolate? His grandmother, Elena, asked. Nobody was worried. They were enjoying the moment. Around the world, people were celebrating, not with big military parades, but with family gatherings, with Christmas parties, with simple joy. The alien fleet's communication systems were completely destroyed. They couldn't even talk to each other anymore. One alien ship tried to send a message back to their home world. The message was simple. Humans are not normal. Humans are crazy. Commander Rakin would spend the rest of his life trying to explain what happened. How could a species defeat the most advanced invasion force in the galaxy? The answer was simple, but the aliens would never understand. Humans worked together. Humans were creative. Humans turned everything into a weapon. And they did it all during Christmas, the worst possible day to attack. Some alien historians would later write about the Christmas invasion, but they could never explain what really happened. How could a species use Christmas decorations as weapons? How could smart home devices become a defense system? How could family gatherings become a military operation? The Miller family was just one example, but they represented something bigger. A global family, ready to protect their home. Ji-hoon looked at his family. They were still wearing Christmas sweaters, still eating cookies, still drinking hot chocolate. And they had just saved the planet. The alien ships disappeared into space, defeated, broken, confused. Humans went back to their Christmas celebrations, as if nothing had happened. Commander Rakin would never forget this day. The day humans showed the universe what they could do. The day they attacked an alien invasion, on Christmas, with Christmas sweaters and cookies. Years passed after the Christmas invasion. The world changed, but some things remained the same. Ji-hoon Miller became a famous military leader, but he never stopped wearing ugly Christmas sweaters. Every Christmas, he would tell the story to his children, and they would laugh. The Miller family became a symbol of something bigger, a symbol of human strength, human creativity, human teamwork. Around the world, people remembered the day humans saved the planet, not with big weapons, not with complicated plans, but with family, with creativity, with the spirit of Christmas. Schools began teaching the Christmas invasion as a special history lesson. Children learned how humans beat the most advanced alien race in the galaxy. During a holiday celebration, Commander Rakin became a joke in alien history books. The commander who tried to invade Earth on Christmas. The biggest mistake in alien invasion history. Some alien races stopped trying to invade Earth. They heard the stories. They understood something important. Humans were different. Humans were crazy. Humans were amazing. The Coral Stellar Collective never tried to invade another planet again. They were too scared. The story of the Christmas invasion spread across the galaxy like a warning. Don't mess with humans, especially during their holidays. In military academies across Earth, the invasion became a perfect example of defense strategy, not because of big weapons, but because of teamwork, because of creativity. Ji-hoon's grandmother, Elena, became a national hero. The grandmother who made kimchi during an alien invasion, who kept soldiers fed, who showed that family was the most important weapon. Every Christmas, people would remember the day humans saved the planet. Some things changed after the invasion. Computers became more connected. People understood how technology could work together, how small devices could become powerful when they worked as a team. Families became closer. People understood that family was more than just blood. Family was a team, a fighting unit. Global communication improved. People learned how to work together across countries, across cultures, across languages. The Miller family continued to be special, but they were just one example of millions of families who were ready to protect their home. Commander Rakin never recovered from the invasion. He would wake up at night, hearing Christmas carols in his nightmares. Humans had shown the universe something important. They were not just a species. They were a family. A global family. Ready to fight. Ready to protect. Ready to survive. And they would do it all with Christmas sweaters. With cookies. With hot chocolate. With family. The universe learned an important lesson that Christmas. Never interrupt a human holiday. Especially Christmas. Because humans are crazy. Humans are creative. Humans are amazing. And they will always find a way to win. No matter what.